Okay, hello. It's Chad Sakach. Exciting little update today. I want to talk about native FCoE support in EMC's Unified Storage family. What we've got here, if I zoom in a little bit, is Unisphere. Nice simple UI for managing both block and NAS storage in EMC's Unified Storage family. Simple, easy, cool dashboard. I'm actually here with Dan CSC, as part of the Unified Storage Division. So what we're going to do is, if we zoom in and look at the hardware screen, one thing that's cool in Unisphere is it now actually shows you the hardware, and it shows you graphically exactly where it is. So if we take a look, what we've got on this CX4 480 is that we've got a series of I/O modules, and it could be by the way, it could be an NS480 as well if a customer wanted to use it for a unified use case. And as I click on the slots, you'll notice that the I/O interfaces are highlighted, so you can actually see exactly what is in each one of the I/O interfaces. If I click here on SPB, you see the whole thing's highlighted. Simple, easy, cool. Now, the news of the day is this. There's now a native FCoE UltraFlex I/O module, and this is what it looks like. It's codenamed Heatwave internally. You can see that it's got two native 10 gig interfaces, so you can plug this directly into an FCoE device and run a converged traffic on top of it. Now, one thing that's really important is we intentionally designed the system 2 years back so that we could make these modular and hot add them. So you can see that one thing that customers get out of that is the card's been matured and FCoE's matured enough to make it a nice single chip ASIC solution, lower power, lower cost, and most importantly, it's a non-disruptive add. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add this to the unified storage array that we're showing here. So let's go and do that. So right here we've got the array itself. You know, for customers that aren't using CX4 or EMC Unified platforms, these are disk enclosures. These are the brains. The brains, you can see, this actually already has a whole series of FC, 10 gig, and even already existing FCoE ports. What we're going to do is we're going to add more. And the key thing here is it's highly expandable, so you can have lots and lots of I/O ports, and it's hot swappable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the filler module here. So this is just an empty one to make sure airflow, space cooling, all that stuff is right. And then I'm going to take this, our native FCoE interface, and hot add it. So,
just a little tag in there.
Yeah. Move the tag. Literally, I just installed the UltraFlex I/O module. This basically locks in place. You can pull it out. And you're going to have to add them in pairs. So we're going to add one over here on the other side. So this is the other storage processor. Again, like any real lab, real labs tend to be messy. So let's add this in. There we go. And boom. There we go. They're using a PCIe interconnect, hot swappable, high bandwidth, and literally we've just physically installed them. So now let's see what it takes for the system to realize that they're there. Okay. Now, normally for adding any I/O port, there's a nice, simple, and easy wizard to be able to add ports. That'll actually be coming for native FCoE in future Flare and associated Dart release. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to do it via the CLI. There's a CLI process to do it before there's the UI. So hang on one second, I'm just going to pause it and we'll restart in a second. So here we are. Just to reiterate, you know, we've added in those FCoE modules. So let's take a look at one of them here. If I zoom in, it's kind of hard to see. but you'll see that under I/O modules, slot B4 now actually has it present. That's the slot where I just added it. And if I right-click on this under Properties, hey, it even knows it's a 10 gig FCoE module. Now, like I said, there's going to be a wizard for this in the near-term future in the UI, as there is already for 10 gig Ethernet, 1 gig Ethernet, and 4 gig and 8 gig FC cards. But here, we're just going to have to type in this one command line, which is going to start the process. So I've typed it in advance. Make sure I got my syntax right. You want to do this? Okay, yes. It's going to do a non-disruptive reboot of both SPs. So, you know, one thing that's always been a strength of EMC's unified storage platform is, you know, non-disruptive pretty well everything. You know, updates, patches, and those sorts of things. So this is a non-disruptive process. We've hot added the card. We're now going through a non-disruptive reboot of each one of the two storage processors, and we'll come back in just a few seconds. Okay, so here we are. We're going to just expand this out, and there we go. You know, now that the system's been rebooted, it's ready to go. Again, the reboot is non-disruptive. We go in, we take a look, that card's been added. Again, the point of this is simple and easy to add native 10 gig FCoE converged network interfaces to EMC's unified platforms, which means customers can add native FCoE support to any CX4 that's been purchased over the last 2 years or so. It's at a really low cost, so it's cost effective and efficient rather than buying like a whole new array to get FCoE support. And they can have very high port densities, which you can add in lots and lots of interfaces. So thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
And thank you all. Thank you for being EMC customers. So actually, one other thing while I'm here. I wonder what other cool stuff there is in this lab. So I'm going to do a quick pan. If someone freeze frames it, there are things in that picture that are mind-blowingly cool.